Amazing news out of the Nintendo front. The industry standard set by Xbox and PlayStation that digital costs the exact same as physical has been officially dismantled. Nintendo is now officially, with their first party Nintendo Switch 2 exclusives, are making digital games more affordable. And this is something that's been on the should have happened a long time ago. This should have been the standard. Developers were telling us this was a standard, but considering Xbox, PlayStation, and especially Steam, prices stayed very high on digital distribution because of the industry standard. In spite of the distribution, in spite of the manufacturing, the prices were set before Nintendo started releasing their digital games on Wii U. And now, with the release of the Switch 2, they have finally have the ability to lower the prices on digital. And this is a great moment in gaming. This really goes to show you how Nintendo is by far actually the most consumer-friendly company. Far more so than Steam, they are the most affordable option. They give the most value to the consumers. And they are, in spite of what Nintendine and his ilk are trying to tell you, they are indeed committing to their variable pricing, where they are indeed, making certain releases more affordable than others, depending on the resources and time that goes into producing them, okay? This is becoming a very observable thing with this company, okay? So this is, overall a very positive thing, but the industry is going out of its way to try and go in full damage control mode, okay? People are spurting out about this because, I saw Smash JT come out and say this immediately, and this was, I think, the biggest cope I've ever seen in my life. They're not making digital cheaper, they're making physical more expensive. If you actually look at Yoshi, it's $60 retail, and then the physical copy is $70. Hey, genius. $70 is the standard MSRP for Switch 2 games. It's the standard for current year games in general, right? The idea that the games are getting more expensive is directly contrary to reality. It's just a giant cope, okay? This is a very good example as to how the industry will take this objectively good, positive thing, consumer-friendly thing regarding Nintendo, and try and twist it to turn it into some kind of conspiracy. Okay, oh no, the digital isn't cheaper, physical is more expensive. It is downright delusional, the lengths these people will go to. Remember when, Smash JT reacted to that Pikmin short, and, he saw that there were pink and blue colors in it, and he thought that, it was some subliminal, pro-Troon message? That's the level of, ideology we're dealing with here. These guys are just obsessed with the idea of demonizing Nintendo under any circumstances. And that is, something that we do need to, preface going into this, where we're at the point now where the entire giant cope that, Nintendo games were too expensive this generation has been completely shot. It's just completely done. It's just completely finished. And yet we're still seeing the YouTube community rally behind this banner. You're still seeing them say that the Switch 2 is too overpriced. That's what Clownfish TV tried to do, last night. Is that, oh yeah, the Switch 2 is bombing because the games and hardware are too expensive. And I'm just hey, genius, it's more affordable than the competition. Again, this is the weird thing about this, right? This is the thing that people really don't seem to understand about the Switch 2, is that it's going to be very, very affordable compared to the next generation of PlayStation and Xbox, right? You are going to be very, very surprised at just how high the price point is going to get. In fact, the price point even right now for the PS5 is pretty high. People are just the idea, the narrative that people have that this thing is too expensive. It's ridiculous in a world where people own $500 Oculus headsets they don't use, or $1,000 tablets and multi-$1,000 PCs. The entire implication is that Nintendo hardware doesn't deserve to have a higher price point because it's Nintendo and it's a cheap, lazy brand that nobody actually likes and that nobody's willing to pay for. We do have to put a stop to this narrative, okay? Like, and again, this has become very obvious, and I've said this several times, but like, no matter how low the price points go, no matter how affordable Nintendo is, no matter like how reasonable it is compared to the competition, like, you're gonna see everyone rally and try and say it's too overpriced. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. You know, where we have a game, we have a situation in which Nintendo is straight up announcing a method to get games for a little bit cheaper. Introducing variable price points, introducing like a standard going forward, something that's objectively better than what Xbox, PlayStation, and especially Steam are doing. And the entire industry is just desperately trying to like make this out to be a bad thing. Like, they're not cheaper. Physical is just more expensive. It's just a gigantic cope. And that's something that we really do have to emphasize, like, as we talk about this. When we talk about the price points for the Switch 2, as we talk about the games, is that, like, all the criticism this company has been receiving is really, at its core, nothing but a cope. Manufactured by grifters to try and push this idea that Nintendo is secretly this evil corporation, and it's not. Like, that's just the reality of it. They are not only the good guys in gaming, they're probably the only good guys in entertainment now, okay? Like, when you compare them to the Hollywood film producers or the toy companies to like the rest of video games, like, the difference in quality and like consumer friendliness is unmatched. It's just insane about how well run of a business Nintendo is. But what's equally as ridiculous is just how delusionally obsessive YouTubers are in pushing the illusion that this company is like somehow scamming people. Like, we were told, like, up until Pokemon Pokepia came out, that the game keycard thing was killing like third-party games on Switch 2, and that nobody wanted to support this, and that it was a dying ecosystem. Even though you could go to like stores and see people buying game key cards, you could go to stores and see that like people were buying these. It wasn't like some hugely unpopular, unsuccessful thing. And now we're seeing another example of that. Like, Pokepia was hugely successful. Disproved the whole game keycard thing, and now we're at the point now where one of the major copes regarding video game companies, the idea is that like physical and digital distribution are priced the same. That's no longer an issue on Switch 2. Like, this should be seen as a major deal, a game changer, way more consumer friendly than what Steam is doing, and yet the entire industry is sneering at them. It goes to show you just how biased they are against Nintendo.